What's going on, guys? There are no raids. What's up, guys? What's up, Caustic? Hey, Sal. Let's open some orbs. Lightning round. What's going on? Get some more bio stuff. Spitball random arena team. What would it be? Phoenix, Sinister, Black Bolt, Invisible Woman, and Ultron. Weird. Discord message came a good 5 minutes before YouTube was available. That's weird. I think it's because it's set to be at 8 o'clock exactly. My stream is set to be 8 o'clock exactly, but sometimes I'm like a minute early or a minute late on it, so that might have been it. Arena team for defense? Yeah, no, it would still be that team. Hey, Koala. Yeah, the trap of Nebula. Honestly, I've been seeing a lot of people using some combination of the Avengers, like Hulk, Thor, Captain America, and then like CM and Minerva. That team has been actually hilarious. If it's strong enough, it'll hold its weight. But I have 1,500 Blitz credits. You know what? I'll spend some of these Blitz credits. Let's go. Yeah, you lose arena defense as you get closer to the end game. I'm sorry again. For some reason, again, the chat is just not loading. One day it will. That day isn't today. The chat just does what it wants to do. Yeah, the title of this, because this is the week 30, right? The title of this run is... And their damage is gone. The ever-moving goalposts. Because something I had thought about starting this run that wasn't there now. You know, like something that was there at the beginning but isn't currently present is the idea of what to do after you get Ultron. Previously, after you, like, the game was unlock Ultron, right? And then play the endgame stuff. The endgame stuff being war, raids, etc. And your goal as a player was only to be better in those game modes. And by the way, yeah, blue shirt, green screen. I guess blue is close enough to green that it's going to be a little fuzzy. Nothing I can do about it. I like this shirt. She-Hulk being war defense character with Fantastic Four. I don't think you're going to use her on war defense with the Fantastic Four. I think you're going to be using her on war defense with the Young Avengers. That's what I've been saying for a while. I think you're going to see her with Young Avengers. Because you can get just as much value out of CM on another team. Usually the actual Avengers. I think she, like, take a look at her kit and then think about what the brawler team you're getting in while they put her tag and passive though. Yeah, no, that's not wild. That's what I've been saying they do. I told you she would be... I told you she is the Fantastic Four in the same way Namor or Emma are parts of their teams. Was the Young Avenger synergy? It's not a synergy. Pay attention to what she does and what that team is missing. Yeah. Like, that's where I would... Like, I think it's silly to put the Fantastic Four on defense at all. They're too good at beating up teams. You know what I mean? And And I would even argue that it's likely that the Fantastic Four beats the Fantastic Four. With the Fantastic Four plus Namor beat the Fantastic Four plus She-Hulk, so... Cheers, Red. I'm just spinning, of course. Nice, man. Yeah, so pretty cool. Weirded me out that she got the Protector tag and not the Brawler tag, because when I had first seen her, you know, 3 or 4 months ago when we were talking about her first, she had the Brawler tag, very similar to how Ms. Marvel has the Brawler tag, but she has Protector elements. It was kind of like that. No, they just gave her straight up Protector tag, which is awesome. I think that's meaningful. I kind of wish she still had the Brawler tag, but... Yeah, I think that what's going to end up happening is people will end up using the Fantastic Four on War Defense in lieu of a better team. Like, they'll put them on defense. I think a lot of people are going to make mistakes. Basically, here's what it's going to come down to. If you have the Fantastic Four and you're going to use them on defense, you better make sure you have 8 other teams that you're attacking with, that you're getting a win with. You know, like, you better make sure you have, like, X-Force, you know? Especially because you're going to see a lot of Sinister Six teams on defense, too, you know? A lot of Doc Ock Sinister Six teams on defense, so. But, back to what we were talking about. Conducting a new round of funding at $3 billion. Scopely has generated $3 billion in fund, in what's it called? Capital. That makes sense. That's all they do. If they're generating that much money, it's not to improve the quality of their stuff. It's to buy new stuff. Scopely, it has long been in acquisitioning. So if they've accrued $3 billion in venture capital. Interesting. I'm interested. That because now we're getting to Kabam numbers. Now we're getting to Nettie's numbers. So I'm interested to see what their aggressive, like what their next purchase will be. Placing Fantasy Four with the team that can do... Yes, that's true, Caustic. But on the other side, would you rather have X-Force... Like, would you rather have an X-Force that can beat a team, or would you rather have multiple teams that can beat multiple teams? As you get into later stages of war, you know, it stops being about, I have the answer to this. It's how many of these can you answer? You know what I mean? Yeah, the biggest thing, Scopely's biggest moneymaker is Star Trek Fleet Commander. They're looking for investments at $3 billion valuation. They got $200 million for... They took out $200 million in order to acquire Fox Next. But they didn't pay $200 million for Fox Next. That I know. So the live PvP milestones were a one-off? Apparently. I'm just burning through some of these. Yeah, I'd rather have it. Oh, they are back? Okay. The PvP milestone, I thought they'd be once a day kind of stuff. They really are trying to get people into PvP. They're just doing it in a very meh way. What's up, Chris? Up from their 1.9 billion valuation in March. I am incredibly interested in where these numbers are coming from. I'm very interested. I'll do some research. Think you get into DD1 and DD2 at the same time? Well, I mean, I could currently enter Dark Dimension 1. but I have no interest in doing Dark Dimension 1 until I get Ultron. So, and honestly, I would much rather get Ultron and then give whoever this account, whoever's getting this account, the ability to like, hey, here's all these rewards for DD1 and everything. So up until like when I started this run, you know, U7 was just a conversation. We were still talking about U7 and like this is what it is. This is before the slider. So you got Ultron. Thanks, Cookies. You got Ultron. And then you started working on War, so you could be better at War. And this was an independent venture. Like, you made sure you could do more War attacks. So it didn't necessarily matter if your alliance was doing well or not, because if you knew that you had the top 8 or 9 meta War attack teams or something like that, you knew you'd find a home. So if your alliance is bad, you'd outgrow your alliance. Same thing with raids, right? Like, in the process, you were working on key characters for raids, so you'd end up with, like, still hunting down your legendaries, lining out your legendaries, making sure your 5s became 6s, your 6s became 7s. That was the end game of Marvel Strike Force. I think anyone who's been playing long enough will be like, yeah, no, that's 100% right. And one of the things that's interesting that I've been thinking more and more about is for us players who've been at this level cap for, I think conservatively, a year. Does that sound about right? Maybe a little bit less than a year? No. 75. Yeah, almost a year, right? That sounds right. 9 months? Yeah. 9 months. 9 months sounds more right than a year. But yeah, like, 9 months I've been at 75, give or take, right? Not 9 months I've been at 75. Do you know how long 9 months is to accrue resources? To make sure that my characters are 5-star? On my main, you'll see that, like, the characters I'm farming now, you know, I'm farming Elsa Bloodstone. I'm farming Negasonic Teenage Warhead is a character I'm farming. I can't farm Toad or Blob anymore. They're done already, you know? Like, they just aren't releasing necessarily characters in farmable access at a rate that's not reasonable for players who've been at level cap the entire time to get there. Ironheart, yeah, Ironheart's another character I'm farming right now. And even then, they're, like, we're not talking about farming them up from, like, 2 or 3 star. We're talking about taking these 4 and 5 star characters to 6 and 7. With the exception of, like, Karnak and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, it really doesn't matter what I do with them. So I get, like, where some people are like, man, they're releasing too many characters. From my perspective, that's fair, Tim. From my perspective, they may be introducing new purchasable characters. Nothing's changed, Piggy. If something changed, I'd have talked about it. Any tips on getting orange gear to finish 13? It's been super slow. Well, here's where I get all my orange gear every day. Let's see. First, it's right here. So I know for a fact I don't care about piss bottles, superiors. Here's where this goes. Technically, I could be buying these because I need them. So this is the first place for orange gear that I check every day. Raid store being the second. Well, I could use these probably. Nothing major there. Buying up Heimdall and Arena. Don't care for her. Don't care for him. I mean, I got the resources. Like, it's not like I care at this point. Arena store. This is where the bulk of the gear you're looking for is going to come from. You're just going to use your resources to get them. But guess what? Welcome to the rest of the game. These stores are going to be almost exclusively for orange gear as you go. Good move. Once they with the legendary and unlocks with tunes available the first 2 weeks of play, it'll be Star Wars Turbo. Yeah, the only way there's a better start... There's no better legendary to get first than Star-Lord, unless you are willing to spend thousands of dollars, at which point, please, by all means, get Black Bolt first. Do you know what I mean? Like, by all means, get Black Bolt and Maw. You know what I mean? But as far as, like, as far as what the impact on your roster, and again, another thing about Star-Lord is he doesn't matter as much later as he does earlier. So do you want to be unlocking characters? Yeah, I saw it. I wouldn't put Scientist Supreme in any game mode that isn't U7 with good characters. Could you beat Dark Dimension 2 with Star-Lord, Scientist Supreme, Rocket, Groot, and Minerva? Yes, but that's probably exclusively because Star-Lord, Minerva, and Groot would do all of the work there, and the other two characters would just kind of show up and be happy for it. When is Star-Lord coming next? Mid-September? Mid-September? Mid-October. I'm sorry. Mid-October? About 20 plus days. We have how many days before Doc Ock, and then we get Phoenix. So, unless they change it again. Yeah, Doc Ock should be Monday. Yeah, Doc Ock's Monday. Carnage, Hela, SSM, Nerva, Star-Lord. That team's great. Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for payday. Sorry, train of thoughts being kind of all over the place because I do want to answer questions. If you beat Dark Dimension 2, if you use Star-Lord and Thanos to Jet Energy and Minerva, I wouldn't bring Thanos in. Not because Thanos isn't good to feed energy to Minerva, just because you are not killing creatures as quickly as you think you are, Zach, so Thanos won't be giving energy out that much. The ultimate truth about Dark Dimension 2 is that the buffs and debuffs don't actually matter. That's actually one of the biggest misconceptions people have regarding Scientist Supreme's value. They think that, like, oh man, the buff flip. Like, yeah, when you're fighting content that's, like, super-de-duper hard, those are relevant things, like getting rid of heal blocks and defense downs. But average content, and by average content, I mean everything except U7. Literally everything except U7 and DD3, but fuck DD3 in the mouth. You literally never need to worry about debuffs. Like, it's completely irrelevant. The Captain Marvel is given away as a calendar character, I believe, now. And they get it after they reach a certain level. I don't remember the exact details. 2.4 million to my account in 2.4 seconds. That's fair. I know you answered one of DD2 questions. Yeah, first of all, DJ Stoobs, just to let you know, the 3 symbiotes can solo Dark Dimension 2. They can solo it. The problem is, now you are investing in 3 bio characters that require the exact same items. So, if money is no object, and if you're talking about who, like, do you want to know who the best 5 characters to do Dark Dimension 3 with? Black Bolt, Thanos, Thanos, Crystal, Hela, and Thor. Get all 5 of those characters as jacked up as you can in Dark Dimension 2. You don't, Maw's animation times are too slow. No one in speed running is doing that. Those are the teams of people who are doing, like, speed running, right? So those guys are speed running Dark Dimension 2 in under 2 hours with, like, basically at least 3 of those 5 characters, and then it's like red stars and stuff like that. The problem is, telling you what the absolute best case scenario to accomplish a task is literally useless. That's not information that anyone helps. What you want to know as a player at any level isn't how cheap you, like, maybe I should work on these guys, but also I don't give a shit. Is how can I do it as efficiently as possible? So for that, effort. It's incredibly easy to get Star Lord, who will be useful to you in the early game. So just use Star Lord. Minerva is clearly the right answer. Congrats, Gunther. Started the last node of DD3. Yeah, I know, Herding Corgi. I've been on the last node for a couple of days too. Best Mercs team? Depends on your roster. You know what I mean? You mean to complete this? Honestly, like Killmonger, Lieutenant, Riot Guard, and then the two strongest other ones you have. You got Taskmaster, great. You got you know, you got a 6 red bullseye, put him to use. For this fight, I'm just autoing because I know I'll beat it, but I'm not gonna 3-star it, and I'm probably never gonna 3-star it because if I'm gonna put any effort into these guys, it's gonna be to go on to the next step. Payday is my favorite 45 seconds of the month. Yeah, right. I am happy they added Payday as a monthly. It is a huge influx of gold that we've been crying for a long time. They probably could afford to make the earlier jumps a little bit more, but that is what it is. Killmonger and War Machine? Well, Killmonger's going to be a good choice. Alright, I'm not answering any more questions for the next 2 minutes. Look at my watch. Because I'm going to get this thought out. Now when you hit level 70, when you unlock Ultron, the end game has moved, right? Now it's not just be good in war or get, you know, the best teams you can for your Greek raids and your U7 or whatever. Now, and in the next month or so, the new end game is, well, you now have to hit a new level cap, right? That you didn't have before, which is, 80. You now have to be level 80. And in addition to being level 80, there's difficulty sliders on the challenging content you have now. So you have to be able to do that. And you have to do Dark Dimension 3 because you need a good amount of resources. Now, if you guys don't know this, to my knowledge, Gear Tier 15 requires, or the tier pieces to get to Gear Tier 15 require 0 of the mini uniques that we have right now. They're going to require a new item, a new set of 2 or 3. Tim, I don't remember off the top of my head if you can remind me. I think it's 2 or 3 items that aren't even in the game yet. So, 2. And thank you, Grizz, 2. Well, 2 completeds. So, how are you playing on MSF.PC? In the info section, there is a link on how to do it. You can click that and download it. It supports the stream for free, and it will get you the application you need to play MSF on your PC. Which is awesome. So, this is where we run into an issue. I think nobody in their right mind, and I'm saying this now because I guarantee you you're going to hear it in the next 2 or 3 months. People are going to start saying, you don't even need Ultron anymore. No sane human being would tell no sane human being that knows anything about this game would tell people to skip Ultron. Like, the impact he has on your roster when you get him is so amazing. Yes, everybody will agree that maybe, just maybe, some characters lose value over time. It's almost as if this game is designed in stages, and as they keep getting to the end game points of this game, things are going to change. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, new characters are always going to be better than old characters. Always. Always, always. They might rework an old character, but the newest thing, or everything that's happened this year is higher impact characters. Wait, did I lose that one? Weird. Than any character other than that. So Doc Ock, right? Doc Ock looks like a little bit of a lackluster legendary, and to some extent he kind of is, compared to characters like Maw and Black Bolt. But compared to characters like Shuri and Invisible Woman, he's right around that same kind of power level. So it's not a one-for-one trade-off, but look at a character like Black Bolt or Ebony Maw and say, wow, these guys are absolutely phenomenal. And then you look at characters like Star-Lord and Magneto, where you're like, they've kind of lost a little bit of their step. True, very true. The difference isn't Endgame stuff. And as an Endgame player, as the global launch player, it's incredible. It's Shuri. I'm sorry, it's Shuri. It's IW is the next one. It's a planet Earth that I'm stress balling. If you want to race to the end game, I'm gonna be the person to say it too. If you want to be in Dark Dimension 3 as quickly as possible, if you want to be in U7 as quickly as possible, I'm not the content creator for you. And I had to come to grips with that a couple of days ago. Like, I cannot be responsible for giving people bad advice. Cool, Ivan. Don't use Korra. So if you want to play this game in a way that I don't support, I can't be the person to tell it to you. You know, like, if you want to play this game the way the game is designed to be played, regardless of whether you're willing to spend $1,000, $1, or no money, I'll help you. You know, I'll give you information. I'll give you my opinion. I'll give you not only that, but the resources you have in chat, as people will come in all the time and say, dude, I listened and it was awesome. You know, it's not just me anymore screaming into the void, don't build defenders, to the sound of 100 idiots being like, but they're the best for fucking, what's that event called? Block Party. Like, okay, they're not, but fine, okay. You know, like, I'm not, that's not where I'm at anymore. Notice that this challenge got harder as I've been autoing it. Like, somehow I can't win on auto fight anymore. Crazy, right? I want you to know that the game comes in stages. In stages. And if you want to skip those stages, you can't, you have to spend money. That's it. That's the rule. Like, if you want to start with anything but like the way I've started, like, cool, you're gonna want to spend some extra money, like, because there's no pot of gold at the end of the finish line. You know, please look at the last 9 months of my roster. 9 months of my roster being at level 75. What's the pot of gold at the end of the finish line? Harder war fights, occasionally challenging U7 to a different difficulty, and then new character blitzes, which every time you see me look down, it's because I'm doing a blitz fight on my phone, because I'm only at 6.5 million and I want to get to 16. You know, 16, 17, something like that. So there is no substitute for time played in this game, but money will very, very easily bridge that gap. We're doing 4, my main alliance. We're doing U7.4. It's U7.4 has been easy for us to, like, 60+% without, like, heals or anything like that. And it's just been, like, honestly, kind of auto running it. That's it. And then U7.5, you know, the actual rewards for completing or for 60% of U7.5 aren't better than U7.4. So, like, it's, I think, or they are better, but by such a margin that the effort is, like, meh. My main team? I have 3 teams. I don't have a main team. I tend to use Minerva, Symbiote Spider-Man, Hela, Black Bolt, and Yo-Yo. Last night was a weird night where, like, everything just went terrible for me. I actually had to use raid heals for the first time in a while. Then I have a second team with Black Bolt. Sorry, not Black Bolt. Maw, Thanos, and the three members of the Marauders. That one I use a lot. They're completely different game modes, Piggy. Blitz is an infinite fight mode, or pseudo-infinite fight based on the size of your roster, and Arena is a more focused fight mode, where you have to specifically fight based on the best characters. They give slightly different rewards. And again, there's nothing wrong with starting with the Defenders, but keep in mind, if you start with the Defenders, what you're saying is, I want to get to milestone 1 before anybody else, and then start moving on other things, like real teams that do stuff. If you start with AIM, it's kind of the same thing. You're like, I want to be able to work on one team all the way up. Nice, Jaguar. And then not have to worry about everything else. Something that people just love to ignore about my complete free-to-play account is the fact that I, you know, am under 1 million TCP doing U6.4, putting up 5 to 7 million points with key investments, and then just, like, no fear of legendaries. Like, all legendaries belong to me. You know what I mean? So I just don't worry about that stuff, you know? Like, it's not a... I now have such a great bank of resources that any alliance I'm in at any time, I will contribute to. Providing the alliance kind of knows what they're doing, obviously. Boom, Arena. I keep getting, like, kicked at the last second. It bothers me, because I literally can't be online. So that's it. The thing I've learned is that it's hard to describe to people how to play this game when everyone wants to believe that there's a finish line. You know what's at the finish line? Waiting. It's why a lot of people who don't have 7-star legendaries tend to say, like, I don't know why so-and-so's or what's their face are complaining. You know, like, I don't know why everyone's bitching. I haven't spent $1 in this game and I'm still having fun. Be like, okay, well, thanks for your opinion. Like, that's cool that that's something you just said, I guess, but there's way too much to accomplish in this game, though. There's no accomplishment. You don't accelerate accomplishment. You can get Ultron first, and then the next accomplishment is being MVP in war on offense and a win, you know? That's an interesting, Jess. I appreciate that. Let me know how that goes, Jess Bishop. That sounds interesting. I really like that. I've been toying with the idea, but just on first blush, it doesn't appeal to me, you know? Like, working on mercs for gold and hand for those resources, it's not like those characters are gonna carry you through the game anyway, so I just feel like I wouldn't. But I do like... please let me know. If you're doing this for science, please update me. I'm interested in that. That sounds awesome. But you're gonna get the enjoyment you want out of this game. So many people I see all the time are talking about, this is the start I did, and this is how it worked, and this is this. I mean, that's a thing you can do, Mr. All-Star. I wouldn't bring Magneto into Dark Dimension 2 in general, but, you know, like, if you're there, you're there. You know what I'm saying? We talked offline, didn't we? And by the way, again, I'm sorry, guys, that for some reason, chat is not showing up here. I like X-Men was a fun rap. Yeah, totally fun. Never invest in mercs before it takes the first day of the last milestone. I complete the last milestone payday. Nice. Yeah. The good news is, I believe that the chat will be live for any replay. I believe that the chat will be live for replay, so it should show up to the right of what's going on. It just won't show up on stream anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. I like the immersion of the idea that people can see what I'm responding to live as opposed to having to constantly look back and forth. Next Magneto event? You got time, buddy. You got time. Magneto literally was just around recently. My YouTube chat froze after my last comment. I had to close and start live chat to see the recent comments. I missed it. Is it still worth promoting Cap Marvel to 6 red stars? Depends on where you are. Like, grand scheme of things, better than average. It's a better than average promotion. Early on, it could be a huge boost. 1 month from now, Marcos. 28 days from now. Currently doing the 7.2 with moderate success. How do you determine if you want to bring Minerva or Shuri or Node? Oh, that's easy, Chen. If I am better than the Node, like if I'm stronger than what I'm fighting, I bring Minerva. If I am weaker than what I'm fighting, I bring Shuri. You know what I mean? Like, if I have Black Bolt and Hela just bleeding out damage, I want Minerva because she'll be healing a lot. Especially if there's, like, summons and stuff like that. If I'm not, if I don't have a team that's doing AoE and constantly killing people, then I want Shuri because she gives that defense up and a pretty decent on-command heal that makes her a little bit stronger. Do you know? Yes, I answered that. I have shared every one of these episodes of my alliance and hope they don't make stupid mistakes. Hey, Smokey. I don't think there's stupid mistakes. I truly don't. I don't think there's a single thing in this game that's a stupid mistake. Because I think a lot of times people like to invest in the things they want. Not everybody's playing this game to you know, be the most useful member of Raid. I can tell you, I've been in alliances on the free-to-play and other stuff, where there are people who are just playing this game because they like the characters. You know, that's a part of this community is not tryhards. You know, there's a reason why you'll look down occasionally and see someone in your alliance like so-and-so just gear tier 13, they're Scarlet Witch. And then you go, I think they had a stroke. Someone called the police. Yes, Anthony Chen. I'll see him, like, why would they do that? But then you talk to the person, you're like, yo, Scarlet Witch is one of my absolutely, positively favorite characters, and I love her to death, and it's just really important to me that I have a really strong Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, what, am I gonna be mad at you? Like, am I gonna say, you're playing the game wrong? Like, no, that's a shitty thing to do. Enjoy the game, play it to the right. But if that's the concession you're making, if you're like, I really love... Where's Luke Connerton? Get him in here. Luke Connerton loves Spider-Man, and he will be the first to be like, man, this wasn't always a great decision, and then they gave us Symbiote Spider-Man, and now I don't regret any of it, you know? And I love Luke with a fire. But, like, you know, sometimes you overinvest in characters because you like them. Dude, I love Hulk. I love Hulk, man. I love Hulk. Hulk's one of my favorite characters in Marvel because he smashes. And like, Doom, as you guys know, bro, if they made Doom a dumpster fire, like absolute garbage, if he was like a Blitz character, you know, for Doom, I would get him, I would max him out, I would run it up, I would get him as strong as he can because I love him, and then I would probably quit the game because you don't do my boy Doom like that. You know what I'm saying? Sabretooth is a perfect example. My main account's Sabretooth. I love Sabretooth. Turns out, doesn't cost much to invest in Sabretooth, and I got a 6 red star at Sabretooth. So I have no problem investing in characters that I enjoy, man. So I'm never going to tell you that. But at the same point, I'm not going to complain about not having enough tier 4 ability materials or orange gear because I spent it on Sabretooth. I didn't bitch for 1 second that I couldn't get Phoenix into Dark Dimension faster because I put Sabretooth in. I was like, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was about, and I was okay with it. So I decided to lose like about a week's worth of progress in Dark Dimension. Yeah, literally a week's worth of progress in Dark Dimension because I didn't start with Phoenix. You know, but she got in by the time I got to Global. Probably, Abam. She-Hulk, Doom. Yeah, green's my favorite color. Honest to God, yeah. Like, most of my characters are green. Most of my favorite characters are green. Didn't even think of that. And if they have a green skin, I put it on, too. Zach. My favorite character was Rhino. Yeah. Dude, like, there's no shame in that, but you accept that. You accept the trade-off. You accept the fact that I'm not going to be as efficient as I could be with my resources, you know? $2000s movie? Just Tyler Mane Sabretooth? That's funny. I don't know. I just want, if there's one takeaway from all of this. Didn't you mean your favorite character? He's my least favorite character. Star-Lord after Doc Ock, Phoenix after Doc Ock. I got lucky when I started same time as you started Defenseless. Thought Spider-Verse might be something if they let the movies market for them. A lot of Venom hype, Farm Sinister 6. What is this missing? Oh, superior MRIs. Okay. Like, the lack of fear, you know? What am I, like, I'm not worried. We'll get there. What should I work on if I don't have a key character like Captain Marvel? You should work on getting key characters, Empire MP3. There are some teams that are very easy to access. I've said before, if you have a Defenders team, you can invest in those characters. Just don't worry about stars on them right now, you know? Like, they'll be okay. Gear tier is what's going to be your biggest issue. If you have a team like the Shield Minions, they are totally an adequate team to work on early. You basically, when you play the game, you have to keep your head on a swivel for high impact stuff, right? So 2 months ago, they gave everybody a free Minerva, right? I pulled a 50 shard of Minerva literally day one. Like, day one of play, my first premium orb, 50 Minerva. Like, okay, thanks. Sorry, just checking for orbs. Let's open some of these. Not even mad. The game is about building your roster so you have options. All right, guys, what are we getting? You guys pick. You guys tell the game. What is this? Is this Nebula? Justin's pretty accurate too. Groot? You think this is Groot? 15 aim assaulter? Wouldn't be mad about it. Do you know your fifth for Dark Dimension 3 is? Probably. It's honest to God, it's probably Carnage. Because I'm gonna be in Dark Dimension 2 next week. Hella, Mordo, Ronin, Bruiser, Hand Assassin. Y'all are wishing the death upon me. This is a premium orb. This is Sadness orb. Yo-Yo? Oh, my wish, good man. From your mouth to fucking Satan's ears, because God ain't fucking in this game. Each day we drift further from his light. Boom. Okay. Yeah, it could be worse. Yeah, like, one of the cool things about being free to play is the absolute worst thing in a premium orb is still great. You know, like, you're like, yay. Yeah, well, I was literally never opening him. Rocket I'll buy. Namor can get effed. Scream at trash. I'm buying Mordo too. I'm like split farming Heimdall and Mordo. Not really working on Blob because I've unlocked him. I'll also buy one crystal just to get ahead of it. But I don't think there's anyone else. Cheers. Premium orb should be named. I really am happy that I don't have to pay attention to Blitz characters anymore right now. Like, I could just hot rip Blitz orbs. Man, I only want spiky balls out of this. Could you just only give me spiky balls? Do I have Beast? Do I have X-23? Yeah, none of these characters are worth starring up, really, so... But I will buy one on M'Baku. Make him feel special. The fact that they rewrote the code to make sure that the Minerva gets gibbed every time? Yeah, I could feel that. I could understand how that makes you feel a ways. Carnage. Wait, am I out of Advanced Alien Spores? But for $4.99, you could have 15. The good news is, this is Gear Tier 11. MG reactors for a 7? Yeah. Skill gear, doesn't matter. Think about 7 Blitz credits for new characters in the store. My main account I do. My main account I usually have like 20 to 30,000. On the free-to-play account, absolutely not. Once you get through, like, it's not about characters, it's about unlocks, right? So, like, Toad can be used to unlock a character, so he was of kind of importance to me. Mantis was used to unlock Star-Lord. Rhino was used to unlock 2 legendaries. Literally no one else. None of these other characters are necessary for an unlock. Usable, yes, but necessary? Not really. And now Domino is in the orbs for the thing. So for me, now that I've gotten the unlock done, it's just, you know, it's way more efficient for Blitz orbs. I don't think you should ever start with orbs, but I think it's good value after. Ant-Man is a must-rank for 5-star. Soon. Soon. The problem is, there's also 3 other characters that are going to come out that need to be at 5-star. So if right now you're getting Ant-Man and Wasp to 5-star, but you don't intend on spending the money it takes to get those other characters up, I have Hydra Scientist already. Also, I have AIM. Like, this is what I can... Hey, look, guys, it's week 30 of play, and I'm starting to work on my AIM team. And it's fucking easy to do. Look at all these resources I have. Look how easy it is to bring characters to 60 when you start working on teams as you've progressed. So I'll probably have a pretty solid AIM set. I'm probably going to use If Graviton unlocks, it'll be Aim Security, Graviton, Scientist Supreme, Shocker, Vulture, and Mysterio will be the team I use for it. Because my Sinister Six team is already done. Like, where is it? No, Tim. Like, oh, I'm sorry. They're not done yet. Huh. Did I pull a mill out of that? Oh, yeah. Yes, Scott. The answer to what you just said is yes. It's like 100k Sinister Six team right now. Just under 100k. Without gear. You invest in characters that you need to accomplish tasks, Jean-Pierre. So, it doesn't matter what the star level on your character is. If you need Hela to be dope, the only way you can get her to be dope is increase her stars, increase her level, or increase her abilities. Nice, AK. Congrats. 140 shards to group possible? Yeah, of course it's possible. How long do you have? 9 years? 10 years? You'll definitely get it in 9 or 10 years. Or are you talking about between now and Star Wars? Yeah, totally reasonable. This, and one of the reasons, one of the biggest complaints about this game is low quality screen time is the difference between, and why a lot of complaints, like, people don't quite understand. If I'm forced to log in 3 times a day for war and raids and blitz and everything else, forced, I mean that, I'm using that word specifically too. If I'm forced to do that, then I have to like, I have to enjoy that. I have to feel like every time I'm done with my daily stuff, something has happened. I've grown in some meaningful way. If I don't, I'm going to get tired. How many times have you, I'm talking to you, not Tim, get out of the way, Tim, you. Sorry, that was funny. I made myself laugh. How many times have you looked in the store 3 times for a character that wasn't there? Like, how many times are you like, I just need Mysterio or I just need Rocket in the raid store. Not there. How many days have you farmed the Shocker node, right? And been like, 0. And that's not just Shocker. How many days have you gone where the actual minimum you could get in that day was 0 shards? If you said, listen, man, at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I got 10 extra shards on so-and-so. I'm progressing towards it. One of the worst feelings in this game is feeling like you're not progressing. That's it. When you feel like, oh my god, I'm invisible now. Guys, the shirt, depending on where I am, depending on where you are in the game, like, Karnak, dude, they're, like, the last 3 days I've gotten 0 Karnak shards on my main account. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I supposed to say, thank you so much, oh well, RNG? This mentality of, like, RNG is RNG, sucks to suck, well harder, that's the most toxic mentality that exists. Because that's the mentality that's keeping you from being able to buy stuff in this game. If you've ever said, ever said that, like, sucks to suck, or RNG wasn't with me, or seed theory is, if you've ever said that, you're the reason why offers are $49.99. Like, because those people are like, well, if it's not worth it for me to try with RNG. Like, RNG is never supposed to feel as bad as it does in a lot of these collector games, and that's why a lot of people spend money in this game, because they don't want to deal with RNG, you know? If this game was more efficient, then they would have no justification for making offers $24.99 for a 4-star, for a 2-star, you know? It never would happen. But yeah, like, the prices that you have to deal with are just because of that. I just wish, you know, like I said, I've had one roommate that's been playing this game for about 7 or 8 months now. I have another roommate that's been playing this game for about 2 months, slowly. I actually using him as kind of a tester. Like, he's trying other stuff. Because, like, ultimately, if he needs stuff, like, and I fucked him on it, I'm like, fine, I'll just buy this pack for you. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm like, he's like, oh man, like, I was doing this, but because of it, I'm not getting, like, Magneto. I'm like, here, just fucking buy Magneto, shut up. You know, like, I'll do him a solid on that. Because he's giving me more information about different kinds of starts. Because I always have somebody finding out, and it's not just me. Tony Scungili isn't me, Anthony. Like, Tony Scungili is me, and Tim, and Swanee, and fucking Don Satori sometimes, and Crocs and Socks, and fucking, like, literally every, Remin X is Tony Scungili sometimes, you know? Like, every single person who I talk to and bounce ideas off of, before ideas even get to you guys, sometimes I'll say the dumbest fucking shit to Tim. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, Tim, do you think that the defenders can hard counter Avengers? Wave 1 Avengers? And he'll be like, no, stupid. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah, I don't even know why I thought that. We all know you had him start aim. No, it actually was definitely not it. John! John, come here. Domo's not Tim. Alright, John's not coming in. Join the 7 Translucence replacement. That's spoilers for people who aren't currently watching it, Vengeance. New players in the mid-50s. It is smarter for me to focus on purple assembly orbs since they give me gear now or use orange better. It's good. Ginger? There is no right answer. Purple gear will always be relevant. I still open purple gear orbs. I need orange gear orbs more. But honestly, dude, like, you're not getting, you're getting the same number of points whether you open, you know, towards the milestone, whichever one. Open the one that has the most. Roommate fetch, John. I've had someone tell me the game was based off gambling with the RNG. The game is based off gambling. As a matter of fact, The only reason this game is technically not gambling is the same reason this game is very technically gambling. The reason they say it's not gambling is because no matter what happens, you receive something for your expenditure. If I give them $1.99, I receive something. Let's look at the offers real quick and see. If I give them 10 bucks, this is actually a terrible example. That's an absolute terrible example. If I give them $20, I am guaranteed to get something out of these orbs. Is that something worthwhile? No idea. No idea. None. The reason it is technically gambling is because you do not own digital items in a game. You have no ownership of your account. Your account does not persist when the game goes away, and you can lose access to your account by breaking the terms of service. So while you are like spending money and there is something you're getting, generally in gambling, if you spend, it's only gambling if you have a chance to lose what you've put in. The fact that you give someone $100 or $20 and get what you assume to be less than the value of $20, that's irrelevant. That's completely irrelevant. Same here. $10 for 4 premium orbs and a kingpin orb. 4 premium orbs, right? So if I get these 4 premium orbs and it's 15 of minions, like Ravager minion, Kree minion, you know, that might not be worth 10 bucks to me, but it doesn't matter because I got something. That's why it's not gambling. But because that something doesn't belong to me, it technically is gambling. And that's what the loot box scenario is currently going under. Nice, Gunther. There are no intricacies of battles in this game. That's not true. 1 week after a new character is released, there can be there can be like absolutely fun changes. Like you can learn something. Like Zemo. Every time I hear Zemo, it's like Zemo's great in PvP, and I'm like, PvP doesn't give you rewards. It's a thing you have to do, not a thing you want to do. And some people want to do PvP because some people really think that PvP is a thing. Once PvP actually matters, I'll care more about it. Like, right now we have a milestone for PvP to get through this stuff. That doesn't feel like an exciting way to progress. That feels like a thing I have to do. And again, if you guys don't know, tomorrow I'll be streaming a PvP tournament. Basically, they're hosting a tournament for PvP. Nietzsche is over at Hellriders. And we are hosting the matchups, different streamers. Nice, dude. That's what I'm doing, live on Twitch. They could have gave us quick match PvP. They did! They did give us quick match PvP. And everyone picked Black Order. What time tomorrow? The thing starts at 3 p.m., but there's, I think, 6 or 7 streamers hosting matchups. So basically, I will be showing the matchup and doing color commentary on the matchup. And of course, you know me. So if someone does something... Guys, I'm going to tell you right now. If you hear, that was an interesting choice. What I didn't mean is, that was an interesting choice. What I meant was, why the fuck did they do that? You can't be matched in 100k punch-ups in PvP. Why on earth would you ever do PvP that's not... 3 p.m. Eastern is the time zone that it goes live. I don't know when I'm gonna go live with it. That's all information I'm getting out tomorrow, but I put a thing up in my Discord. Yeah. And this is something I can get behind because the winner is getting a prize. Like, it's a... What? It says EST. It says... Yeah, the thing says 3 p.m. EST. It's a bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off. Right. I'm just looking into it. That's something that, like, that's a reason why I would care about PvP. Because if there's no stakes, then there's no stakes. Like, I'll go live. Like, last night I did PvP for the milestones on stream, and I was like, I think I won. Maybe it was 50-50. I think I did 4 matchups, 2 and 2 or something. I don't remember exactly what happened. Maybe I did 5 and 1, 3. I don't remember. What I remember is, like, I didn't care. At no point was I like, damn, this is a better player than me, you know, like, or damn, I crushed that dude, I'm the best. Like, no, I was just like, here's the thing we gotta do. Do it. Move on. Will I be able to start DD2 next week? Should be. I should be able to start DD2 next week. But there aren't punch-ups, Bo, for the... Like, why are you not doing balanced draft? The dumbest thing you can do in this game is do regular draft PvP. Like, it's literally the... Like, it's so silly. Why would you do that? Do balanced draft. Why would you ever worry about having to access, like, fight off against who might have spent more than you? Just use balanced PvP every time. This tournament is exclusively balanced PvP. You actually can't do regular. Do you have all your gear 13 pieces? The ones I'm missing are very moderate. Like something... like the day I hit 70, I will probably be like 3 characters done. And then I'll need to finish up the last 2. That's a great question, Vengeance. Why don't they? You should write a letter. Write it to support. Oh, here. Say you wrote it to support, I'll give you the support answers. Thanks for your feedback. We are constantly looking at ways to improve based on the feedback of our players. We will report this information to the team and get back to you in a future update. I want ARAM? I want ARAM. Chase Cruz, hit the nail on the head. ARAM time. Balanced, it's balanced mode, you get 5 characters. I also want a version... Almost sounded like a human being in your support response. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me... We're sorry. Your message was not responsible. I mean, you're separating those two things is silly, but... Hey man, if you want to punch your dick 30 times in a row by doing regular draft, I can't stop you, man. Some people like to get their dick punched. Good luck, Commander. Get fucked, Commander. Which, if you guys aren't aware, is the email I use for all official correspondence between me and members and people at Foxnext. Oh, there is. It's called Tony. Yeah. I'm reasonably... Oh, apparently we're just kicking the shit out of this alliance already. Alright. Sorry. Main account. Wasn't a fan of quick match. Prefer draft because it's literally blind arena. If I thought I could make money, I would sell pics of my feet all day. First of all, you can make money. Here's how you do it. Was Remin X for the punching? Remin actually has to do, and I say this to him all the time. Remin has to do non-balanced PvP, or else he can't justify the fact that he spent 6 figures on a mobile game. Like, the people who aren't gonna do because then he's like, but all my money I spent in this game is meaningless because somebody else who didn't spend as much as me has a chance of beating me. And it's not it's not an insult, like, it's a fact. If you spent $200,000 on anything, if you bought a Corvette and a Honda Civic guns you, how mad you gonna be? You know what I'm saying? If you have a Corvette and you're watching a Civic go vroom right past you, you're gonna feel ways. Like, what did I pay for? You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it is. I'm already his child. They got that turbo. Yeah, right? You're gonna feel away. So if you spend a lot of money on something and someone who doesn't spend nearly as much as you is sending you to court, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get shoes. But all versions of this game that are going to have rewards around it are always going to be balanced draft. That's why the last I heard, PvP was going to have points based on victories, kind of like Blitz. Think of PvP like a Blitz style game mode where you could do X PvP matches a day, and win, lose, or draw, you can get points for it. The higher your point value is, the closer you are for costumes. That's how I heard they were gonna do costumes. But the other way around it, they're gonna just sell the costumes for some stupid amount of money, like $60 or $70 for a costume, so that the whales don't have to feel like they're getting pissy that people are beating them in balance draft because maybe they spent more money and didn't pay attention to like details at the exact same time. Like, they could just buy the thing, and everyone else who doesn't want to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a costume, because it's a ridiculous amount of money, will actually play the game mode and feel like they're getting $60 worth of value. I was wondering why they keep changing the point amounts for the PvP milestones. Oh, that's because they don't know. All of this is live testing. All of the PvP stuff they're doing here is live testing for it. It is a good idea. Sounds like DSA versus Arena. Kinda. Kinda. And PvP is absolutely insane. Well, we were always going to get skins. That's how I heard skins were coming out. That was one of the things I heard about PvP. I've also heard that they would do character releases that way. Kind of like how we have milestone characters. They would add a new type of character that's a PvP character. You know what I mean? They already do have skins for, I think, like 25 or 30 characters right now. Done. Art department, done. They've had skins for so long. You saw a couple early. They have skins for Storm. They have skins for so many characters ready, and they're just like, how do we make the most possible money? But yeah, they didn't add PvP for funsies, guys. They are gauging interest in PvP to determine how important it is to get people to come into PvP. Yes, they have 90 Storm. Alright, well, we're in Reactor and I can't do anything, so. The base rogue better be Savage Lance Rogue. Under normal circumstances, I would be doing a stream after this on Twitch. Is Gamma gonna have 37 skits? No, it's not Marvel Heroes. Normally I'd be going over, I have to do roster reviews, but because I have to do preparation for the stream tomorrow, I won't be doing roster reviews on Twitch tonight. So the roster reviews that I own, that I'm going to do, which I believe are 2 or 3, the list is on my my site. It's the first 3 people. Those are going to be done tomorrow in between rounds of the tournament. So like, we'll do a round, I'll do a roster review because they're like 10 minutes long. I do want to move roster reviews to YouTube, to right here eventually, because I do feel like that information is useful to everybody, even though they're not like incredibly popular YouTube videos. It's very like, roster reviews don't get a lot of views on YouTube, right? Like, who the fuck cares what someone else says about somebody else's video? But since inherently a lot of people will rewatch it, and hopefully they take information from it and give it to other people. Like, my goal of doing a roster review is to stop having people asking for roster reviews. You know, like, that's the end game. That's why I don't charge for them. Like, I'm trying to teach you how to be a better player so that you can then be like, oh yeah, this is what I should do. So sometimes people will come up and be like, hey man, could you just give me a quick refresher on my teams? And sometimes they're just like, nope, I've been doing it, haven't asked again. Sometimes it's like months between. Sometimes someone will come back to me like a week and a half later. Usually that's what lower TCP rosters, people at like 1.5 to 2 million will come back to me like a month later and be like, hey man, I just unlocked like 7 different characters. Like, what do I do? And I will, in my brain, I'll be like, there's no way those 7 characters are high enough that it matters, but like, I'll take a quick look. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes the 7 characters is like an entire team and a legendary, and I'm like, oh, all right, cool. So, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I will not be streaming again tonight. You tell me when we make it the skins sometime next year. I know this next patch is huge. I know it's ISO 8s. I know it's level 80 increase. I know we're going to see Dark Dimension 4 on the screen. I know we're going to see... what is it? Oh, yeah, the birth of the symbiote team. Oh, yeah, this patch may as well just be the sledgehammer. That's how they're installing this patch on your phone. They're going to individually come to your house and then hit... with no new info in the latest blog? Why would there be new info about that in the latest blog? The patch isn't coming until the end of this month. I believe that the Halloween tunes are Scream and Anti-Venom. I believe. But, it was, you know, like, remember, there were things that were supposed to happen this year that can't because of how COVID-19 affected stuff. There were, like, the Black Widow movie. I've shown you guys the video of Red Guardian. Like, he's done. He is a completed character. The Black Widow's rework for that is a completed, like, they're completed characters, right? Like, they're done. But now because that movie didn't come out this year, and realistically I was just heard it was pushed back again, so they might just have to be sitting on characters, which is why they're doing last minute changes. Oh no, this side of me is see-through. Cool. That's why they're doing all this shit. Like, I can't blame it all on this, but why do you think we have so many bugs so often all the time? Bugs is not out of the ordinary, but they're not good enough to make the changes they need on the fly the way they are and still get them up. Was the Wave 1 rework for Widow meant to be a part of a rework? No, the Wave 1 rework was on time. The Wave 1 rework was always supposed to be in time for this. That was always designed to be in time for the Marvel Avengers movie. What we didn't get was her rework to work with the other characters. You're doing a predictions video for 2021? I actually technically can't. Because the beginning of this year, the reason I was able to make a predictions video that was more prophetic than prediction is because I knew everything. You know, or I knew the gist of everything. I knew about the Hydra rework and I knew about the Mercury work, and I knew what they intended their timelines to be. I knew that so-and-so characters were coming out. I knew that Doom was going to be the reward for Dark Dimension. I just didn't know there was going to be a Dark Dimension between 2 and 4, you know? So when I talked about 2020, that video was more of a, this is what they had on paper. But that video came out in January and COVID started killing everybody in March. So there was like a 3-month period of time where things just got completely thrown off. Since then, I've given up most of my resources regarding information this game to help, honestly, and if you ask, they'll tell you, like, to protect some of the envoys that lost a shit ton of money. So I don't necessarily care about knowing it. Keep in mind, the envoys don't get information before me. Go next time you talk to Valley, ask him if he ever asks me for information, because he does all the time. And not just me, by the way. There's plenty of people that get the information I get. I just like to talk about information to build hype. I don't like to just tell you, like, oh, by the way, next year when Gambit and Rogue come out with US Agent, it's going to be the, you know, they're going to have their own tag, and it's going to be this entire event thing that's going to, like, yeah, I specifically Gambit and Rogue. But it's also the same reason why when someone comes in and goes, it's Agent Venom, I can tell them dead ass, like, no, it's not. The character that is Agent is not Agent Venom, because I know that they have not been working on Agent Venom. Because if they were working on Agent Venom for this year, I would have seen it at some point this year, because they're not hiding that stuff. Why do you think I could tell you they have MODOK? Because they have a graphic and like built character of MODOK. Like, I've seen his like, you know, the T-pose, whenever you got a character that's like, nah. I've seen that on MODOK, and MODOK's T-pose is actually really funny because the legs just go straight down. He's just like, so does MODOK look good? I never saw his kit. I just saw his thing, and yeah, it looks funny as hell. But MODOK was a character that they wanted to get out in time for this, and everything just keeps getting pushed back. So like, they'll probably get him out next year. You know? Should I buy that Avengers game on Steam? No. Can someone get a roster review if they can't use the spreadsheet? Everyone can use the spreadsheet. Is Doc Ock planned for the beginning of the year? Yes, YG, I will put magic in right now. Jom? If I told you yes, but followed up with we didn't get him the way he was planned, that might tell you. You may look at Doc Ock. Like, okay, look at the last 3 legendaries that have come out. Right? What are the last 3 legendaries? I believe it was... Wait. The last 2 was Black Bolt and Maw. And then I think IW was the last new. I think IW was released before them. Yeah, because Phoenix came before IW. I think it was IW. Black Order didn't do good business sales, so Fox Next is making a new meta team. I can't comment on that, Simon Chai, because there may be a reason Valley said that. And that's all I can comment. Shuri was before IW? I think it was IW. I think IW was new. No, I'm not talking about the order of release. I'm talking specifically about the legendary characters that were introduced. Like, they introduced, I believe it was Invisible Woman, and then the next legendary introduced into the game was Black Bolt, and then the next legendary introduced into the game was Maw. Does Doc Ock feel as strong as any of those characters, both on their team and off? Maybe IW. Like, Doc Ock doesn't feel as strong as Magneto. And that's a statement, right? Like, Magneto feels stronger than Doc Ock. So that's kind of where you look at. Doc Ock is a legendary character. He should have been a legendary character. But he's a popcorn legendary character. You know, he was supposed to be the legendary character And he's still good. Like, he's not a bad character. He's still better than most non-legendary characters, right? Hey, BW. What's up? But the pomp and circumstance around him, like I said, if you can get a legendary on there, if you can get a legendary, get a legendary. If you can get him on your first pass, get him even faster. Yeah, he feels like a legendary that if you didn't get him ever, you'd be like, okay. And that's not to say he won't be useful. Like Nick Fury is useful. Nick Fury's awesome. Yo, basic orbs, Tinnock. Or the milestones. Or did you get them from the milestones already? Yeah. Doc Ock feels like, I want to say, a filler legendary for a plan that they had to release 4 legendary characters this year. So here's the thing. There was a plan to release 4 legendary characters. 4. We have gotten 3. 3. Nick Fury was supposed to be retired because we're getting 4. My knowledge of Nick Fury being retired, which I reported in a predictions video, was Q3 of this year, which we are still in. We're actually in Q3 until the end of this month. So all of this information was based on something that hasn't come to pass. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Nick Fury pass, and then whatever the legendary that starts off next year is, comes in. It's not Danny DeVito in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? And that legendary was supposed to be a tie-in with the Eternals, which was supposed to be a movie that's coming out right now, but... She get the MSF group together most from the Fall Guys. Yes. I tried to get actually, Urz reached out to us to do another stream. But this weekend just didn't work for me and Remen because we're doing that hosting. We're both hosting the tournament, so it just wasn't gonna be great for everybody. Let's do a quick rundown. So again, you notice I'm not rushing. I'm not like going crazy, but I do have a metric ton of cores, right? Because some days I literally finish Arena in 250, and some days I finish Arena in 600, or 522. Like, Arena's just an absolute nightmare. You want another Arena fight? Okay. Sure, I'll beat up on... That team is actually terrifying. This team... What's better than 422? I'll do 423. Because I don't have to think. I could just click auto. I like not thinking. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. See right through the green. What's funny? This is blue. This is blue. So no Twitch tonight? I can't do Twitch tonight. I have so much stuff I have to get done that I just can't make the swap. Bye, Hella. You're dead now. Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, I can't. I would normally do a Twitch, but I'm tomorrow because I'm doing the casting stream where we're casting the tournament and I'm doing commentary on it. In between rounds, when we go to other people and stuff, I will be doing my roster reviews and if I can't do it in between because that's just how it's scheduled, I'll just do them after. I've also finished. What time does smart? 3 Eastern. There's a link that's going to be, what's it called? The multi-stream, so you can look at every different player at once. I do like Among Us. I like Among Us a lot. I don't like streaming Among Us, But I like playing them. There's a lot of games I like to play that I don't like to stream. Cool. Should be home from golf early enough. Nice. Nothing to buy. Nothing to buy. Nothing to buy. On principle, I'll buy this. Yeah. That's it. Like, I hope you guys understand. Like, you see how slow it's been from me hitting 69 to 70, from me talking about like how basically these characters are in the waiting room to be 70 so I can like upgrade them, get the last stuff, farm the stuff, farm hella, farm more of these materials and that. Like, guess what? When I hit 70, I'm gonna be able to like, let's look at my city hero characters, right? Like, these guys have been worked on for, like, in preparation for the first couple of nodes on there. These guys in particular. I'm also probably going to bring up a little bit of Ghost Rider. Maybe Iron Fist, that I don't know. One of these two is getting invested in. I want Ghost Rider, because duh, right? If I actually try to be 72 to 73. Oh, yeah, well, you can tell if people tried because they're a free-to-play. I'm sorry, my ball fell. Now I'm sad. I'm like a puppy. There are people who are like, hey, Tony, free-to-play account, 100 and, you know, like 20 or 30 days earlier than you unlocked Ultron. For a lot of people, this is just showing you, like, this is the line. I hope that you do it faster, but if you do it as fast as me, you're still you're still in a very reasonable position. You know, like, you still can accomplish tasks very reasonably in time. I only get about 800 or so energy a day. Most people can get 12 to 1500 energy a day. Or experience, I'm sorry. I say energy, I mean experience a day. By completing all the milestones, by, you know, coming in at the login times, by, you know, getting the extra energy packs. There are days where I haven't bought, you know, where I'll buy energy and I'll just miss it. But that's mostly because I can only play my free-to-play account on the computer. So if I'm not sitting on my computer, I got nothing to do, you know? Like, I'm just kind of dirtling around. But that's it. Like, that's the goal. Now, remember, when we started this entire run, we had a 10-month Ultron. That was the goal. Ultron in 10 months. We are... What are we at? What's week 32? Is 8 month? I think so. 32 divided by 4 is 8. Take easy, muzzle. Yeah, but that's the point. I am free to play. So if you see what I'm doing and you're like, oh, I'm totally... Think about it like this. How many times has an offer come up? $1.99 for 100 shards or 50 shards of a character that I'm currently farming. Like, someone asked earlier, when are you doing your whale account? It's not a whale account. I'm gonna be spending about 50. I think we came up with somewhere between $50 and $60 a month as the price. And the reason why it came to there is that's the price of a new game every month, right? There was like, imagine if you were buying a new game every month, you'd spend between $50 and $60 every month, right? Like, so if you're playing this game ad nauseum, it's not ridiculous to imagine someone be buying a new game because you're technically buying something towards this game every month. So I think that's the range. That account is going to be... well, the most important thing I want to do is I want to make sure that account pays for itself, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I need to know that for my account, if I spend $100 to $200 a month on my own account, I know I'm getting the enjoyment out of it. So, like, that's what I'm spending the money from. The enjoyment. On the free-to-play account, if I'm spending an extra $50 a month and that video is getting no views because either people don't care about watching someone spend money or whatever, I have to figure out how to justify spending that much money. I can afford to, but like it's also, I'm doing it for content, so like I gotta figure that out. But right now it doesn't seem like it's unreasonable that I can. I just want to make sure the numbers line up. Like if the $50 a month that I put into that game is covered by that account, is covered by the amount of money that the videos and content for that account makes for me, then like I don't care, whatever, call it a wash. I want to say thanks for your content. Just unlocked Ultron like 2 days ago on my second run DD2. Nice, Bryson. What do you know what number you were to unlock Ultron? That's something we just kind of keep track. It's a chat record. The last number I think we saw was 155,300 something. So like people are now unlocking Ultron all the time, and it's like people are using the right teams or they're brute forcing it and spending the right kind of money. But like it's always good to see someone enter what I consider to be MSF 2.0. How can we check? If you go to Dark Dimension and you go to leaderboard, it'll show you right here what your rank was. If you click and on timed, sorry, what your ranked is. If you click find me, because I haven't done it yet. If you click find me, it'll show your name. Yeah, that video was incredibly important to make. That's why I missed that week. I needed to, because it's really hard for me. Dude, I love watching content. I love watching interesting information. And I love just, like, when I find a streamer or a content creator I love taking in their content, you know? Sometimes it's important, sometimes it's not. It's how I do. So I always try to be the kind of content creator that I would watch. And I realized, like, yes, it is awesome that I have 28 weeks. He cheated. Nice, Burton. Thank you so much. So like literally he cheated. Whether he knew he cheated or not, it doesn't matter. You can't get 107%. And they don't care about this. This is irrelevant to them at all. I will say throwing joke. Yeah. So like to me, telling somebody, hey, go and watch, like, no joke, each video is between 1.5 hours and 2.5 hours long, so average to 2 hours. Go and watch 60 hours of video to catch up on my insight. Dude, if someone told me that, I would say go fuck yourself. Like, no. And it's one thing to say I have a video on it. Dude, if I have a 10 or 15 minute video on something and you're like, I can't be bothered watching a video, cool, then I can't be bothered helping you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but like, that's one thing. Another thing is to say, no, just go catch up with 60 hours of gameplay and conversation. No, that's ridiculous. So I thought now would be a really good time to condense everything. This way, as we look at the videos and look at everything, I talk about what's happening, so you can go and watch that specific video based on where you are. Like, if you're playing the game for 3 months, 4 months, and you want to see, like, well, where was Tony around this? Oh, I'm way ahead of him. Or, like, oh, I'm not there. Maybe I should work a little bit. No, exactly, Reading. So, it's one thing to go back because you enjoy the content. It's another thing to go back because that's what your information you're trying to get. And one of the biggest problems with data in general, and this is what you can see with Foxnex not knowing how to fix the orb debacle, which is why, if you guys don't know, every single person who got those orbs, they only removed the orbs. They didn't do anything else. All those players are still as strong as they were, more or less. I think a couple of people were affected, but they've done nothing to fix it. So they gave everybody compensation, swept it under the rug, and you guys just... Not you guys, but like the community itself was just like, whatever, I don't care. I got my shiny thing. There are still people going absolutely nuts. Do you have an estimate time between finishing Dark Dimension 2 and Dark Dimension 3? I'm going to say something and you're not going to like it. I don't think that you, from the day you finish Dark Dimension 2, I don't think you're going to get into Dark Dimension 3 without significant spending at the cost of a lot of other value for, like, over half a year. Legit. Legitimately over half a year, dude. What's up, Jeff? Like, look at the difference. It took me, a player with most of my roster at 7-star, most of the characters I was going to use for Dark Dimension 3 anyway, at Gear Tier 13. And thank you, Bryson, I appreciate that. 157,826 people now have Ultron. Nice. It's good. And it still took me, with a moderate amount of spending and farming and stuff, like, at least a month and a half or 2 months before I could enter Dark Dimension 3. And then from that point, it took me months to get through Dark Dimension 3. And I wasn't spending cores, and I, you know, obviously because I don't care about it, so like is what it is. But months. This is the difference. The day you finish Dark Dimension 2, how far is your roster away from my roster? Because if it took me months to get into Dark Dimension 3, when all my characters that I was going to bring in anyway, including like Sinister and Phoenix, were already Gear Tier 13, if it took me months there, and they're all 6 and 7-star, and they're all high red star, if that took me months, how far is your roster away from mine? How much stronger do they need to be? How many stars are you going to miss out on? That kind of thing. How's Doom Campaign going to affect Dark Dimension 3? It's not. I think it's conservative. I think that it'll take at least 6 months to get into Dark Dimension 3 after Dark Dimension 2. Reasonably is what I'm saying. Like, sure, you could Gear Tier 14, like, Merc Lieutenant and Shield Trooper and Sabretooth. And all of these characters that take, like, no mini-uniques. You could Gear Tier 13, your 5-star, 2 red, like, garbage characters and do it. Or you can single focus target every action you take from whenever you decide to start doing that to that point, and make sure that you have Phoenix, and make sure that you have Colossus, and make sure that you have Hela, and make sure that you have Minerva or Maw, and you could do that and only work on those characters, and it's still gonna take you as long, because unless you're getting carried by your alliance, you ain't gonna get shit from war, you're not gonna get any value out of raids, you're not gonna have the extra resources to spend money in all of these other access points. No, I don't watch other content creators, because honest to God, most of them don't know as much as I do. I do watch some other content creators, but most other content creators don't actually know as much as me, so like, sometimes someone will send me to a content creator and I'll watch their video, and if it's interesting, I will plug it. And then I become friends with them, and then I do stuff with them. Like Valley, or Mobile Gamer, or Luke Connerton, or Vivash, or who else have I done stuff with recently? Even Nietzsche, Dutch Rudder, you know, like people who've sent me, Wolverthor, people who've sent me, like, they're like, yo, check out this video so-and-so came out with. And I'm like, oh, that seems interesting. But like, usually it takes very little amount of time before someone says something. We don't call Remin X is a streamer because I told him to be. Ask him. Remin X is I don't watch any content from Remin X ever. 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 Ever, 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 ever. Because if I wanted my words out of an older man's mouth, I'd suck his dick first. Tell him I said that. Playing on 17 days now, 166, praying frequently. Honestly, after watching lots of content, for his hands on the best just makes sense. I don't think my info is the best. I also don't think I'm the best player in the game. I think I have an analytical approach to a lot of things that some people don't like. And I think more importantly, I say things people don't want to hear. We have no idea, Jackson. We have no idea. There's no incentive for them to add him to orbs. You know what I mean? Like, think about it from their perspective. Why? What is their incentive as the game developer to introduce him to orbs quickly? Player happiness? Come on now. Yeah. Yeah. No, seriously, like, like, if you have a content creator, if you want a content creator, if you guys know a content creator, like Pika, Chewburger, like, you can hit me up, right? And be like, Tony, check out so-and-so. Happy to help, now 30. Like, you'd be like someone, I'm not going to mention names, because if I didn't mention the name there, it doesn't necessarily mean I have a problem with them, but it might. You know, someone mentioned there's a content creator that was giving certain piece of advice. So then I went on to watch a video, and then I watched a stream of this guy, completely low-key, not as myself, and then I was like, oh wow, that dude just used racial slurs. Oh wow, that dude is giving really bad advice. And I was like, off, click, move on. I was like, I don't need to be involved with this person at all. Well, Menti, one of the most important things I learned in my life is, if you're saying something that you believe is true, right? If you're saying something that you believe is true, it doesn't actually matter if anyone else doesn't. You know, like, if I tell you and you hear my, that's why I always tell you guys, please, even when I say something, if I say like, you gotta start with Star-Lord, man, he's the best start, ask why. Why would you do that? Well, because Star-Lord isn't good in the late game, but in the early game, he's gonna give you a huge jump up over anybody else, and you are never, ever, ever more than 4 months away from Star-Lord. I think some person who, okay, so there was a post on one of my YouTube comments earlier, and I died. Because, first of all, it said edited comment, and there was still, like, 14 misspellings. I generally don't care about misspellings, but it's definitely, like, a step in the wrong direction if the next things you say are gonna be stupid. So, first of all, he said I was lying to you. Lying. Not lying. Lying you. I don't even say to you. I'm lying to... lying my viewers. Which, I don't know if that's a slang that I'm too old to understand. What's lying? I don't know. And then it was, Star-Lord is on a schedule, so it could be 6 months before you get Star-Lord. Literally, this entire video series has proven that I could get Star-Lord in the first pass that he comes out. And that's without spending. So, if I didn't, and that was 3 months, 90 days, I had all of the characters I needed for Star-Lord. So, yeah, I know. And so that was the first thing. I was like, no, dude, you are never... Like, if you start farming for Star-Lord, it doesn't take you more than 3 months. So the worst case scenario for Star-Lord is, like, you just miss Star-Lord, and then you only have 2 months to get the characters, and you're not willing to spend any money. And even then, by the time he comes back, which is, by the way, for the record... 4 months later, because these cycle rotations generally are less than 90 days in general. Like, it's absolutely absurd. I would bring Ultron to Gear Tier 13 in a heartbeat. Not even a question. Yeah. So, like, that was the thing. And then he's like, dude, like, if they don't start with the defenders, they're gonna be completely useless for the first 6 months of the game. Like, first of all, that's the same time frame you think that it's going to take for you to get Star-Lord. Groot, Tinnock. I think Groot is actually the problem at that point. What team am I using for Dark Dimension 3? Star-Lord, Minerva, Symbiote, Spider-Man, Hela, and I think I'm going to end up bringing in Carnage because I can, but like the fifth character really doesn't matter. Like, honestly, it would probably be whoever the character that's most likely to be relevant is. I'm in DD3, Bryson. Ultron is not useful the first run of DD3. He becomes more useful the second run because he costs too much. He is useful. There are 2 nodes that using Ultron is absolutely phenomenal on. Well, you can come over to watch us play Marvel Avengers together. But yeah, like that's the thing. So I love reading comments. I read all my comments. Sometimes I click like, sometimes I give a response. If the question is something that's like been answered before, like I tend to like allow them to look through it. Like I don't mind in my stream how many times a new person's gonna come in and say, what team am I using for Dark Dimension 2? Because the answer is it's the best team to use for Dark Dimension 2. Hands down, no questions asked at any point in time. It is the cheapest to invest in, most value you're going to get out of the most characters ever. No. I'm not gonna dox the I actually, like, I hid the comment, because I knew I was gonna talk about it eventually, and I didn't want that person to get, like, sent out. Aim is fine. Dude, aim is great, dude. Aim is great. It's just not as efficient as start. Like, honest to God, if you just unlock all of the aim team and then just work on them while you're working on other teams, it's fine. Totally reasonable. How you got Minerva so quickly? Actually, okay, Angie Reyes said how I got Minerva so quickly. Would anyone from chat like to tell him how I got Minerva so quickly? No, he's being sarcastic, because I say that all the time. What day did I get that Minerva? I know, Andy. I've seen you here before. Day one basic. I was so excited when that happened. I was like, jerk it off. 2 shake weights. Yeah. So like, it's fun because every now and then I will always run into somebody who's like, your info is lies. And then I always, earlier on, I was like, is that true? Am I actually causing people to be worse off than they are? And y'all are still here watching me and being like, dude, that was awesome. Or like, you helped me so much. I'm actually kicking ass in war now. And I'm like, oh, to give you money for bus fare when you were done? Oh, for anyone who doesn't think. If anyone needs another testimonial, no, like, yeah, thank you. I love South Park. Are we still 1K new viewers a day? Yeah. Plus one. I don't think it's 100. I don't think it's 1,000 new viewers a day. But that's the idea. So like early on, I would hear criticisms and really start to question whether or not it's true. And the truth is, I still always question my advice because just like there was a period of time when starting with Defenders was the absolute best thing you could do, there became a period of time when it wasn't. And there might be a period in time when starting with aim is the absolute best thing you can do. And there might, and like I said before, if Symbiote Spider-Man went into the arena store, Star-Lord, like, we're going in on the symbiotes. You know what I mean? Like, there's... B. Porter, I don't actually know anything about that content creator. Other than the fact that someone said, watch his video. I watched his video. No, it's not Casino. Or Tawna. But I don't know anything about this person other than people said watch his content. I watched his content. He's relatively newer, I guess, and he just straight up dropped some... He dropped some words that I was like, that's not even casual. That's not even someone who thinks that they're being cute. That was just somebody who shouldn't be allowed to produce content for anything. And got Yo-Yo and Carnage. Am I correct in focusing up Yo-Yo first? Do you have Symbiote Spider-Man? So like, there is a slight difference, because if he was introducing reasonable and relevant content to the game, right? If he was introducing reasonable and relevant content to the game, then you would be in the same situation as I'm in, which is, well, do we ignore the fact that we hate Tony and listen to the information he's giving is good? If you have SSM, Carnage might be a hair better, but honestly, both of them are really good with Carnage, so flip a coin. Yo-Yo is probably cheaper as you're working on SSM, and then bring up Carnage later. That's my advice. Am I disappointed with Doom? Doom is amazing. Doom is absolutely amazing. Yeah. Oh, I don't really pay attention to haters. Like, I don't. Like, but it's always important to review your stuff. So, like, I will never... Guess what? A year from now, if I'm still saying Star-Lord is the best first legendary... Dude, if they retire Nick Fury, we are not farming Star-Lord first. We're unlocking Nick Fury and using Fury's shield. You know what I mean? Like, we are... Will Doom break the game? Yes. Yeah. You have to adapt. And that's the problem. People don't want to hear, not everybody. Some people don't want to hear advice. They want to hear their thoughts out of somebody else's mouth so they can have confirmation bias that what they've been doing is great. I have a personal, in real life friend that I have been giving information to. He just got back into the game. I have been giving him information and telling him how to do things and what to do things. And then I'll catch up with him like a week or two later and be like, so how's your what's it called? He's like, oh, I didn't work on that. I worked on this instead. And he was like, technically? Yeah. Yo-Yo balances it out. My actual degree was in information systems, and then my master's was in business. Thanks, Dessier. Yeah. Just want thoughts on Null being a legendary invention. You want thoughts on it? I think it's a thing that could happen one day. Thoughts done. Yeah, would be dope. We know it would be better than Null as a legendary. Null is a blitz character that we all get for 45 shards. Open mini milestone orbs with saving for SSM. I mean, I think it's foolish to save orbs if there's value in them. You know, like... Symbiote Spider-Man's passive. Hela's passive are the only tier 4s I have, Isaiah. Here. Oh, I don't even have it. MODOK is a legendary? Not to my knowledge. I thought MODOK was a milestone character. I'm thinking Shuri may be a better choice. Better choice than Minerva? Incorrect. Oh, then IW? Also incorrect, Enoch. Double incorrect. If it's over Minerva, no. If it's over IW, also no, because she's also tech. So, while yes, she would be a good character to bring in, you're missing the point again. The point being, the most efficient characters you can bring in to get into Dark Dimension 2, not only as a free-to-play player, but as anything else. Do they ever update the pool of characters in Milestone Orbs? Don't they update it all the time? Don't they add characters to Milestone Orbs all the time? Ha. But did 70 no idea what to use for Heroes campaigns? Oh, Heroes campaign? Symbiote Spider-Man and 4 other characters. Oh, no? They're effective legacy orbs plus CM and Wholesome? Yes, but again, who do you like better in U7, Minerva or Shuri? Simon, didn't you just ask this question and didn't I answer this? Or was it somebody else that asked this question? You use Minerva if you're stronger than the content you're doing. You use Shuri if you're weaker than the content that you're doing. Or do you use both if you're super duper duper weak? Was it you? Alright, that's fine. I swear, I was like, I know I asked this exact... I think you even worded it the same way as the last time I answered it. So, like, if you're stronger than the content, Minerva's better because you're killing more things more quickly. She's getting a lot of extra heals. If you're weaker than the content or you're not at a full setup, Shuri's better. And if for some reason you need both, then you can absolutely use both and get away with, like, Yo-Yo, Black Bolt, Symbiote, Spider-Man, Shuri, and Minerva. And that team will give you a lot of sustain. Hela isn't Milestone Orbs? Why is Hela not in Milestone Orbs? Oof. Why are Milestone Orbs so bad? I don't know, dude. Like, I haven't opened a Milestone Orb on my main account Now, actually, I think about it, yeah. The reason I haven't opened a milestone orb on my main account is not because I'm saving for Symbiote Spider-Man, but it's because I believe all of the characters in there I have at 7-star. So, like, we might have villain 17, Hela, Loki, Thanos, Ronin, Mordo. That looks like a villain Mystic Get Hela team. Sounds great. You can also use Jug Daddy over Ronin if he doesn't work out too well. Or you can use Shuri, Minerva, and Yo-Yo if you need God tier sustain. Yeah, if you need... I have used Shuri, Yo-Yo, like, in U7.4, the end nodes, or in U7.5 at all. I use Yo-Yo, Shuri, or Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma. God. It's alright, guys. Premium orbs are still worse than milestone orbs. Because every time they add a character to premium orbs, they become worse. I want to click a button on you. Premium orbs are not premium. I used Shuri, Minerva, Yo-Yo because my alliance was doing a raid much harder than I could. Yeah, that's right, yeah. And now you're using triple sustain. Shuri, Minerva, Yo-Yo is like the sustain build. And then you could be like Black Bolt Hela, Black Bolt Yo-Yo, Black Bolt Crystal. I'm sorry, Black Bolt Crystal, Black Bolt... I'm using Black Bolt because he's amazing. Symbiote Spider-Man Carnage. Like with that Shuri, Minerva, Yo-Yo kit, doesn't matter who the other two characters are. They're going to stay alive. If you use Ultron, it's going to be really, really, really slow, but you can still do it. Who do I like better, Zemo or Taskmaster? For what? Like, for what? I think Taskmaster is better at what he does than Zemo is. Like, Taskmaster's job is to be an amazing war defense character. I think Taskmaster is better at that than Zemo is at being a war offense character. In general. But Zemo is a stat stick. So Zemo... You don't need a really strong Taskmaster to be really good. You do need a pretty strong Zemo for him to do what he's supposed to do. I'm happy to help, Daniel. Yeah. If I had an option of buying one or the other, I would buy Taskmaster. Mainly because I also like how Taskmaster works in other game modes. Like, someone was talking about bringing Zemo into Dark Dimension 3. And, yeah, I would chop off my own dick and eat it before I brought Zemo into Dark Dimension 3. I don't care that he takes skill gear. He does nothing. And I mean, he does nothing. He will die well before he gets to take a turn. Every time in the global node. Every single time. Taskmaster might be. Yeah, someone was like, I really want to bring up Zemo to Dark Dimension 3, and I was like, I mean, you can. If you said I'm bringing up Zemo for war, and I might as well use him in Dark Dimension 3, I'd be like, yeah, sure, extra body, whatever, like, that's fine. Like, yeah, use the extra body, that doesn't matter. Because at that point, you're just putting in bodies to die so that Phoenix might not get one shot. It was probably me debating Taskmaster Zemo. No, this wasn't a debate, I don't think, Assad. Someone was legitimately like, I'm bringing Zemo to 14 for Dark Dimension 3. And it wasn't you. Like, I am bringing Zemo to 14 for Dark Dimension 3 exclusively. And I was like, you can. It's skill gear, but honestly, at this point, flush your skill gear down the toilet. It doesn't matter. Like, there's no good skill characters yet. Yeah, whenever someone starts a question with, which skill character? I'm like, fucking Killmonger. Question answered. It's Killmonger. Who do you use for Dark Dimension 4? My prediction for Dark Dimension 4 is that you will need teams of characters with the same origin tag. That's correct. You will need 5 skill characters. At that point, well, Proxima? Proxima's good. I like Proxima a lot. Proxima's real good, actually. Proxima's awesome. I will be bringing Proxima to Gear Tier 14. I'm actually taking Black Bolt out of my DD3 team. He's too slow. No joke. He is too slow. He doesn't do enough damage. He says Killmonger like he wasn't murdered straight up by a 900k task. Oh my god. There was a 90k Taskmaster that ate my fucking shit, dude. He just... so obliterated. Yeah. That said, if anyone ever said, hey, should I bring Black Bolt to Gear Tier 14? You would have to be absolutely insane to say no. How many uniques? I can tell you 100% right now. Yes, they do, Koala. Since there's no 100% right placement in every situation, they have the best general placement for most team comps, Koala. It will cost you 25 uniques to go from Gear Tier 14 to Gear Tier 15. 25. And the reason it will take 25, as told by a friend of mine who's been giving me all the information, just like I've said before, after Gear Tier 15, Gear Tier 16 is Red Gear. Red Gear. Gear Tier 15 is the beginning of Red Gear. That is a fact. And we've confirmed it again. It used to be 12, 18, 25 uniques. They raised the second one from 12 to 24, but this one will remain 25 because they wanted to make Gear Tier 14 harder to get in a very small period of time. Gear Tier 15 will actually be easier to get when it comes to generic resources, but as they are adding new resources that we currently can't get in order to get to Gear Tier 15, guess what? It will be months before anyone gets into Dark Dimension 4. If they release Dark Dimension 4 tomorrow, month plus before anyone gets in. Doesn't matter how big a spender you are. Does not matter. It'll take you months. Month plus. Thinking SSM, Carnage, Minerva 2. Seems great. If you have IW, you can go ahead and replace anyone. Hella Carnage, but like... I think Carnage gets away with being a lot weaker than Spider-Man, honestly. I think if you have a strong SSM, you'd be better off with IW just for the sustain ED day. Gear Tier 16, is that when we're getting Tier 5 abilities and mats? To my knowledge, we're not getting next ability materials. It's now going to be closer to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, where certain abilities are going to be Zeta'd, where you can invest more into them. Oh yeah, thanks. Congrats, Jeff. I appreciate that. I appreciate your feedback. Let me know. Come back. Let me know. As someone who just used that team without IW, expect Minerva to die a lot. You might have to do some resets. I like IW on that team. Or Yo-Yo, but... Doing 7-1, I'm having fun. Am I just targeting the wrong characters, or do my best characters need to be better? Are using the pure Sinister 6, because they will not sustain. You need at least one healer on that team, so I recommend Hydra Scientist or AIM Researcher, not Scientist Supreme, because they need sustain. They don't have it otherwise. Yeah, IW's ult is the... Oh, shit! I had showed people that I auto-fought Dark Dimension 3 with just Star-Lord, Minerva, and IW. I auto-fought nodes in Dark Dimension with just those three on auto. Like, yes, clearly they were powerful, but if you can still use 3 characters to beat a fight on auto, that says something. 200k pure Sinister 6 beats... Yeah, I wouldn't put a pure Sinister 6 team on that. And it honestly, like, they just need a little bit of sustain. That's it. Because they're a 2-turn combo team, and once Rhino's taunting, like, that's it. So you just need a healer. I like Hydra Scientist because he puts death proofs up and stuff, but... I never said she was a Young Avenger. I said you would use her on the Young Avengers team, and I stand by that. Just like I said, just like when people were like, she's Fantastic Four, I'm like, no, she's not Fantastic Four. You would use her on the Fantastic Four team. Stature might be a member of the Young Avenger team. Can you auto Dark Dimension 1 using Guardian Gun? Can you? Yes. Would I? I wouldn't think I would ever invest enough into them to make that reasonable. For Dark Dimension 1. I don't think I'd ever get my team high enough where I wanted to auto them. Who would get the tag? Yeah, but that's relevant. Because the tag is irrelevant. Like, who might get another Young Avengers tag? Like, Stature might. She might get 2 tags. She might get Quantum and Stature. You know? Who do you take out for Aim Researcher? Honest to God, probably either Mysterio or, no, not Mysterio. Probably either, Vulture, yeah, Vulture or Mysterio, one of those two. Because you need the sustain and someone who does a lot of damage. Mysterio's really good because he can blind the Shield Trooper on Node 1. Yeah, Mysterio's got a lot of value. Shocker, maybe, because you don't need the AoE. Because Green Goblin does great. Green Goblin does phenomenally in that fight because he's so tanky. What about A-Force? There's no tag for A-Force. So they might add a tag for A-Force, but like... Namor being kicked for a potential Illuminati team? No. Namor's not being kicked. Do not place your Fantastic Four on War Defense. That is not... Fantastic Four with She-Hulk is a War Defense team for top 10 alliances. You know, the alliances that don't need their Fantastic Four to win fights for them in war. Do not treat them as that. Put her on the Young Avengers if you got them. Yeah, don't ever put an offense team on defense unless you can win fights anyway. Like, it took me months to put my Sinister, my Marauders on defense. Because sure, they're a good team, but they also can beat the other Marauders team. Do you know how many times I go into a Marauders team and clone Sabretooth or Emma? Amazing. Like, mine. I'll have 2 Emmas, thank you. War is not... What team is Captain Marvel the best on? Captain Marvel's her own team, so I like to put her on the Avengers. Basically, she's her own team. Like, so just put her somewhere else. I'm invisible. Put her on a team that needs a little sustain, and you'll be okay. Yeah, Aim Researcher is an AoE healer. Hydra Scientist, so she's slow to heal, so you have to save it. Hydra Scientist heals very quickly, but it's single target, so like whichever one you use, just be a little bit careful. Me, I'm not really worried. Like, look right here. So my Sinister 6 is like, they'll probably all be 20k, but also it costs me absolutely nothing now to work on aim. You know what I mean? So I might get all my aim to like 15k and then just make a mix and match comp for it. I'm actually done. We're calling it now. Thank you for asking though. Should I buy a 5th red star for Carnage? My SSM is 5.5. Or should I save for Phoenix, Black Bolt, etc.? Fifth red star is 150, right? Do you feel like Carnage needs to be stronger right now, Assad? I bought the 6th on Carnage because I knew he was going to be useful. Because I knew about the symbiotes and everything and what was going on. And I did that on stream and people were like, what do you know, Tony? And I was like, I know the symbiotes are going to be worth it. I invested in Infester? I did not invest in him at all. There is no investment at all in him. He's tier 2, 1-1. He just happens to be 4-star because he's a fucking, Raid Orb character. Take it easy, Porter. Yeah, I've spent nothing on this week, dude. He just happens to be 4-star because Raid Orbs were giving me Infector. There's a reason. Yeah. There's a reason why these guys have numbers and he's level 20. All my characters are level 20, though. Should I spend the 50 gold credits to 7 red star SSM? I wouldn't 7 red star any character in this game at all. Ever. Any character. I would buy my first 7 red star when my top 60 characters, when every single legendary I have and every single main person on a team, so like my top 5 or 6 teams, all were at 6-star. Why is he crap? Well, because he's slow and the debuffs he puts on doesn't help anything. Metabolism is his only benefit, but ultimately he's a bio character and not worth the bio gear. Daniel Sports Ledger, that will be Anti-Venom. And Scream will Disrupt. I take all characters to level 20 gear tier, like 2 or 3 usually, because I want to use them in Blitz. Is it worth investing in 6-starring aim for Dark Dimension 1? I'm not answering that question. You can solo... I'll answer it a different way. You can solo Dark Dimension 1 with Ultron. You can solo Dark Dimension 1 with Ultron. So now that you have that information, is it worth it to bring an entire team to 6-star to accomplish a task where just bringing good 5 characters into Dark Dimension 2 and getting Ultron up might be better? I can't answer that question, Dossier. What is your top 3 overrated characters in the game? Scientist Supreme is overrated. Scientist Supreme is... overrated. I don't think Zemo's overrated. X-23 is overrated. She's great, but she's over... Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider's overrated. X-23, Ghost Rider, and Scientist Supreme are the top 3 most overrated characters in the game. Not saying they're not good. Just saying they're not as good as people seem to think they are. Is it worth it to take aim to gear tier 14 for Dark Dimension 3 Global? Andy, I love you. Andy, for you, I'm going to say yes. Actually, from now on, whenever anyone asks me a question about using aim, I'm going to be like, do it! Just don't come back here when you're mad about it. From now on. Whenever anyone asks me about aim from now on, I'm going to be like, do whatever you want with aim, just don't come back here and talk about it. Don't care if you succeeded or failed. This is disgusting. 7-star all the Ravagers. Starting with Boomer. No, starting with Stitcher. Anyone have a 7-star Stitcher? Alright, I'm calling it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just a quick recap on this. We got another month. Yeah, more nerds to take the lunch money from. Flush their heads in the toilet. This is voodoo, yeah. This is voodoo. I don't even know what this is. It's just terrible. I love AIM too. I am the first content creator of all of us who put out a video regarding the AIM rework. I love this team beyond reason. This team is so much fun to play. You can go back and see my AIM video. I think it's a little outdated now because times have changed and now we use Aimtron and everything. But like the AIM video, I was like, this team is great. This rework is amazing. These guys are great. And here's how I would use them. And here's how I would use 2 characters. And here's how I would do 3 characters. So the fact that I'm sitting here, one of the biggest fans of this team, being like, they ain't a starter team, like, Take it easy, guys. Next week, I think if I try a little bit, I could be at 70. So this, again, another week of slow. I can't wait to give this account to somebody, but now we're going to really start focusing on whether anyone should be rushing for Dark Dimension 3 or whether we're just going to focus on playing the game and enter Dark Dimension 3 and, of course, Dark Dimension 4 as the time allows it. Because honestly, when I finish this account, it's going to somebody. Who? One of you guys or your friends. I don't actually care about that. So have a good night, guys. Have a great day. Wish me luck in getting the extra, what is that, 6,000 experience I need in order to hit the cap that I... Oh, it's frozen. All right. Take it easy, guys. And again, I'm not streaming on Twitch tonight because tomorrow, pretty much for like the entire afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're doing a tournament, a PvP tournament, where I'll be doing commentary, so you guys can stop by and check it out. Have a good night, guys. Enjoy your weekend and be safe.